Diaspora Moments by Dion London.
Hi guys, so welcome to the Diaspora Moment Podcast. My name is Dion London and I am very excited for today. And I have a very exciting topic for you guys. But before we do that, right, Mr. Tintin?
Yes.
Hey, I got the name right, huh?
You got the name right.
Welcome to the Diaspora Moment Podcast.
Thank you.
How do you like the studio?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Great.
Yes.
So, back in the days, or should I start with our ancestors, right?
You can start from
I can start with our ancestors because they started that, right?
Yes.
It was, I don't know, it's like a cool thing, right? I don't know if I'm using the right word for it. Men marry multiple women, which is what we call now polygamous marriage.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Now, we the women, we don't want to share you men with any woman. But why should we do?
Okay.
And I know you have a lot to say on that.
Yes.
So in case you just tune in again, like I said, for today's topic, we're going to be discussing polygamous marriage versus monogamous marriage, right? And my beautiful guests over here, some of them are excited for it. Some are also saying that, hell no, we are not doing this. Not in this generation and not in the next generation. We are not interested in any polygamous marriage. We want our own husbands, okay? Mm-hmm. We don't want to share our husband with anybody. Mr. Tintin, I don't want to share my husband with anybody. Why do I have to share my husband with anybody?
Well, let's look at the world in general, right?
But before you do that, I'm going to keep cutting you in. I know you're so pumped in. Let me introduce my guest to you guys first, okay? Before I get Mr. Tintin all pumped up. So go ahead, Mr. Tintin. Go ahead and introduce yourself to my guest.
All right. So they call me Mr. Tintin, and I'm from Ghana, and I believe in polygamy marriage.
Oh.
100%.
One for the Ghanaian country. Okay. What about you, Mrs. Lady?
Hello, everybody. My name is Shola, Miss Ade, for those that want to know. I am from Nigeria, and I am 100% against polygamous marriage.
One for Nigeria.
Yes.
What about you, Colombia Hene? Talk to us.
My name is Colombian Hene, and I'm from Ghana, West Africa. Kumasi, Bantuma, to be exact.
Mm-hmm. Dang. In the building.
I believe in polygamy. I think that if a man decides that he wants to, or woman decides they want to do whatever, you have the right to do what you want to do with your own body, as long as you're not hurting anybody. I don't think that in 2024 it is advisable to be in a polygamous relationship because of what we see in the world and all the studies that have shown from raising kids and all the studies that shows that you cannot just provide for your kids. You also got to be in your kids' lives. So in 2024, it's hard to be in your kids' lives while having multiple wives. The reason is that because back in the day, when people had multiple wives, they were living in one house or they were living in one small little town. So he's able to see all his children, all his family in one day. Today, the world is so expanded, so big, it's pretty hard for you to do something like that, especially with working hours and things like that. So I don't think it's advisable, but if you can, you should go ahead and do it. It's your life.
Why not? Right. Thank you so much, Colombia Hene. And thank you, all my beautiful guests. Oh, this is going to be... Yes. The funny thing, you really do shock me today. I actually thought you were actually going to be all for polygamous marriage. But it's like you are in there, but you put it a spin on it. And I love that. Okay. So I'm going to start with you, Mr. Tintin.
Yes.
Polygamous marriage. I met a man. We started life from scratch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I built something with this man.
Correct.
When you came into my life as a man, you didn't tell me that you are interested in polygamous marriage. You told me by myself that I love you, baby. And till death do us apart.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And I fell for it.
Okay.
Now we've built something together. You're working, I'm working. We have 3 beautiful kids. And then graciously, you probably end up making more money, right?
Yes.
And then you say that now I feel like I'm a capable man. I have what it takes right now to, marry another woman, right? Because, why have one fish when you can have multiple meat on your food, fufu, right?
Yes.
And I said, no, that's not what you told me from the beginning. Why should I accept your proposal? Talk to me, Mr. Intenten.
Okay. So, as you said, we got married, right? And that is where the mistake came in at first. Because guess what?
Okay.
we should have gotten to know each other before we got married, right? You should have known my point of view, and I should have known your point of view. And at that point, if we couldn't agree, then the marriage shouldn't have happened.
Right.
To start with, right? So you should know that, hey, this man I'm with, he believe in polygamy. Although I'm the only woman right now, this is his beliefs.
Okay.
Right? So if this is his beliefs, that means there's a chance in the future that it can happen.
Okay.
Am I okay with it? If I'm not okay with it, I'll walk away.
Right.
But if you stay, then you agree with it.
Right. But what if, the word here is the if, none of this happened from the get-go?
And
now you are into it.
Okay. So now let's come to where you live, where you base, the culture that you in. That dictates quite a lot as well.
Okay.
Now, if you're in the United States, polygamy is not allowed.
Right.
Right? But if you in my little town in Kumasi, Ashtown, that is allowed, guess what? You should already be used to it. Because you know that this is your culture, this can happen. There is a chance of this happening. So if you didn't bring it up front when we first got married, you should know that's the defect, that it can happen.
So I should get used to it as the woman?
Yes.
Because that's what the culture is?
Because that's what the culture is. And guess what? If you in a culture, right, and the person that stick his head out get cut off. Like, when there's zebras, right? When lions are chasing zebras, why did they go after a certain zebra? They always go after the one that sticks out. Right? So this is your culture. Polygamy is allowed, right? So that is your defect. That's the de facto mode. Right? So I should know, and you should know that, hey, maybe I may be the only one, but in my culture, it can happen. So when it happens, that is not the time that you want to cut fight and you want to say this, and you should have brought that up front when we started.
But you didn't bring it up front. So why should I be the one to bring it up front?
Because I'm not the one that is bothered by it.
Okay.
You are.
Okay.
Right? It's not that you're going to get another husband. I'm going to get another wife, and that is going to bother you. So it's your responsibility to bring it out.
Okay.
Say, hey, listen, I'm dating you, I'm marrying you, but let's get this straight. I want to be the only woman. And then I'll tell you, okay, well, listen, I don't believe in that. I need, eventually, if I wanted another wife, that should be a choice that I should have. Right? Because our culture allows it to happen.
Okay. But let me ask you this. Do you think polygamous is a good thing?
Yes.
Why?
Okay. What is the defective nature of human beings?
And what is that?
It's polygamous. It's not monogamous. It's polygamous.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where we start, whether we started from, whether you want to go to the biblical side or you want to go with the scientific side, right? There is a reason why men were able to have multiple women.
What is the reason?
Okay. When we come down to it, what is the purpose of a man and a woman? And especially
procreation.
Thank you.
But you can procreate with one woman.
How many times can a woman give birth in a year?
Does it really matter though?
Yes, it does.
But it all depends on how many kids you want to have too, right? If you have a man who wants to have 2 kids, it doesn't really matter. You can
Well, we're talking about, let's go back to the Stone Age and the cavemen.
Okay.
It didn't matter. There's a reason why nature wants us to procreate.
Okay.
And there's a reason why nature allow men to be able to look, one man can impregnate 100 women in 1 month.
I agree.
What is 1 month? One day.
Why would you want to impregnate 100 women in 1 week? Do you have the capacity to take care of them?
I'm talking about nature at the beginning.
I understand that. So when we bring it to polygamous marriage, right?
Yes.
When you want to have multiple women,
Yes.
do you have the capacity to take care of those multiple women?
Depends. Because guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you bring other women in to create wealth.
Oh, enlighten me there. I'm interested. What kind of wealth are we enlightening here?
So-
with you bringing another woman, why am I coming over here to help you create wealth?
Well, guess what?
Uh-huh.
When you come in to help me create wealth, you're not my girlfriend. You're not just any other woman.
But you are
that I'm
sharing the
bringing
wealth
in.
with other women, so
Because guess what? The other women are working as well, are supporting me or supporting the family.
why should we work as women to support you when you are ready to do polygamous marriage?
And guess what? Okay, so if you go back in the days, right? What was the responsibility of women?
They were taking care of the home stuff, right?
Thank you.
Like all the home stuff.
Okay.
Cooking, sewing, cleaning, taking care of the babies, the kids.
Okay, so when they do that, that is supporting me as the man that goes out to go hunt or to go to the farm or whatever I'm going to do, right? Support, that means the women are supporting the men. Women are supporting men all the time from the beginning.
But in this generation, what kind of support are we talking about? Because that kind of support that we just said, we can easily get a maid to do that.
And guess what?
Right?
The maid will be the third wife. Because guess what? The maid is there to work. The maid is there to support. And the maid will be the third wife. And the maid, if the maid don't want to do it and bring a fourth maid, that fourth maid is going to be the fourth wife.
Okay.
Because everybody have a responsibility.
To
and
play.
guess what? That is the reason why we have 50%. Well, it's even more than 50% divorce rate now.
Right.
Because we don't want to fit in our lane. We don't want to fit in what nature have care for us. And guess what? Whenever we go against nature, what happens?
There's always a consequence in some comments, but hold on. So are you saying that the divorce rate right now in the world, let me not even say just United States, is because people are not indulged in polygamous marriage?
Yes.
That is the reason?
That is part of the reason.
Part of the reason.
Yes.
What
Not the
kind of
whole reason.
percentage would you give that?
Okay, so let's say this.
So if it's part, then it's not entirely the reason of the 50% rate.
It's not entirely.
Okay.
But it's part of the reason. It's a whole spectrum of things.
Okay.
But that can be part of the reason.
Okay.
Because let me ask you this, right? If I'm married to you and you know that tomorrow I could go bring her, you be on your toes.
Be on my toes, as in what?
As in certain things.
What if I'm already on my toes?
If you're already on your toes.
Are you still going to bring her though?
It depends. Do we need her?
So that's what I'm saying. Because you said that if I know that you're going to bring her in the picture, I'm going to be on my toes.
Yes.
But what if I'm on my toes?
If you're already
Do
on
you
your
need
toes.
her? If I'm doing, see, one thing that I know of a man, right? Man, love for a man is respect.
Thank you.
Okay, so when you say be on your toes, so be on my toes means I'm giving you the respect.
Thank you.
Right? I'm doing my wifely duty.
I don't want anything else. That first one.
Just the first one.
If you give me that first one, everything else.
Do you still
fall
need
under.
her?
No.
Okay, so then there's it's not like so when the woman is on their toes, they are behaving, they are giving you the respect, you don't need a second wife.
Now let's say this, right?
You see,
The second wife.
I'm saying this
The
is
second
because
wife.
this whole conversation
The
thing.
second wife.
Because I
can
always
be-
feel
The second wife.
what is she coming to do?
Okay.
I'm on my toes. I'm doing everything.
You're giving me the.
I'm the whole package.
Ah.
What is she coming to do?
Okay, so now let's see this. You on your toes, right? But with time, everything deteriorates.
But then you also going to deteriorate too, right?
But what's the difference between a man and a woman deteriorating?
Why does it have to be the difference between us here? If you feel like I'm going to change, you're also going to change too. But when you change there, it's okay for you to change because you're a man. But I'm the woman, I can't change because I need to be on my toe. What kind of marriage is that? A man can go wrong in a marriage, but a woman can go wrong in a marriage?
Go wrong. A man could go wrong, and often they go wrong.
Who often goes wrong?
Men go wrong all the time.
So you know that.
Yes, I'm not saying that men don't go wrong.
You know, I'll come back to you on that. Hold on to that. First, I love that. First lady.
Yes.
What do you think? I mean, he said a lot.
He said a lot.
And, you know, he was talking.
Yeah.
Until he said that, if you are not on your toes, then I can bring another woman in.
Right.
But what if I'm on my toes?
Right.
Why do you need the other woman?
Exactly.
So then it tells you that for men, it don't really matter. You can be the Beyonce and everything, they still will do what they want to do regardless.
Right.
So then why do we have to be on our toes then? If I'm giving you the respect, I came and ask all the package. I'm working, I'm supporting, I'm doing all of that, right?
Right.
You will still bring in another woman regardless. So I don't have to be on my toes anymore then.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Shola.
You know what's so funny? I was respecting the beginning of the statement until he went. Exactly, he went the other direction, and I had to, because when he was talking, I was like, the choice, if you choose to. I said, this is nice,
Yeah.
But for me, honestly speaking, the way I see it, it just sounds very selfish.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to polygamy, right? I agree. We're human beings. You have a choice. If you want to do something, you can do whatever you want to do, right? But my question again is always, just because I can do anything, does that mean I should do it? There is right and wrong, right? There may be right and wrong to because even when you go back to the beginning of time, like he spoke about, they had an actual argument as to why I need to have more than one woman. We need to procreate.
Right.
I think today in 2024, we have enough humans.
Who's procreating? Right.
How many do you want?
India has 1 billion population. What else are we
even
procreating
China, they're
about?
trying to reduce. They have restrictions.
already did.
One
They already
child,
did.
exactly.
Yes.
One
Guess
child
what?
per home.
And guess what? They are struggling. They are suffering. Japan did the exact same thing.
Yes.
What is Japan
Well,
doing now?
it's causing
They
a big
are
problem with the
paying
economy.
money
Yeah.
for people to do the
Procreate now.
hibbity-dibbity.
Yeah, but then if it's about procreation, again, like I said, you can have one wife procreating for you. It all depends on how many kids you want to have.
Right.
If you want to have 5 kids, one wife can give you 5 kids.
I wanna
You've
have
already
100.
procreate. Do you have the capacity to have 100 babies?
Why
you see
not?
what he says? He says something. You see, okay, I'll come back to you. You're very stubborn. Go ahead. Go ahead,
But
Shola.
yes, I think for me is just to sum it up. There's wise decisions and there's unwise decisions. Now, if you're Dangote, for example, maybe you can afford 10 wives and 100 kids. You have the money for it.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're talking about polygamy and why you agree with it today, let your argument be with what the standards are for today in our day and age. Going all the way back in the day, of course, common sense, we need people.
Right.
We needed to procreate.
Right.
But right now, to be very honest, even as individuals, majority, and this is no offense, majority of men that agree with polygamy, you're not making enough to even support 2 wives. You're not making enough to support 4 kids, talking of 10. So let's be real with the desires and the things that we say we want. You cannot sustain your desires.
No, you can't.
So get real, say you're selfish, and you might want to play around a little bit and do that. Yes.
You don't get a point. Ima says something, and I'm gonna let you come in, Ima. You said something when you were giving the introduction. You said that you did research, right? And the research says that, right? Man, you can be in 2 places at the same time. And right now, when you have kids, you need to be in the life of your kids. You see, this polygamous thing is allowing only women to be in the life of their children. And these kids don't have father figure in their life. And having kids and paying school fees and paying for milk, it's not like the whole entire fatherhood of being the life of your kids. Ima, did I speak your mind here? Please, go ahead. Talk to me.
To be honest, kids, they appreciate the fact that you can buy them stuff, buy them games, buy them all this stuff.
But is that what they really need?
But the things that the kids really care about is you being there for them.
Yes.
They appreciate more of memories and moments more than the things that you buy for them.
Yeah.
You need to be in your kids' life as a man. You need to be there to invite your kids, show them the way and get them ready for life. Having multiple wives and having multiple wives in different cities and here and there, it does not allow you to be fully invested in your kids' lives.
Right.
If you can afford to pay for your kids, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that cannot afford to pay for their kids.
Yeah.
But they're still in their kids' lives. And
Yeah.
they're also there to be protecting their kids and also there to make sure their kids are good and lead them the right way. At the end of the day, you need to be your kids' lives. There's so many studies that have shown how children's lives tend to end up with their father in the house,
Yeah.
and with no father in the house.
The house, yes.
So I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but you're more likely to go to jail. You're more likely to drop out of school when the father's not in the house. So I'll just leave it there.
Right. Okay. So for you, you feel like just pick the right woman and just procreate with whatever kids that you want to have. How many kids you want to have? The last time I checked, you said you wanted to have 10. Did you change your mind? Did you change your mind?
I don't know yet. It has
You still want to have 10 kids?
I have to talk with the wife to see.
And what if one woman can have you 10 kids? Because
I don't think I can have 10 kids. So
you don't think so?
Yeah,
Because
especially
you're a
my
very
age.
busy man.
Yeah.
Because I know that you want to build an empire for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be a multimillionaire. And being a multimillionaire and building all this empire comes with responsibilities.
And time.
And that's going to take away your time with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason I'm asking that if you still have that notion that you want to have that many kids.
It's going to be a discussion between me and my wife to see what we can do, what we can absorb together.
Okay.
I can't say I want to have 10 kids. It's impossible.
Okay, you've actually changed. Trust me, I know him. He's my buddy, and me and him we've had a long discussion about this. That's the more reason why I brought him on the channel, right? So I'm actually surprised he went to the other side because he would say like, you know what, just go to Africa, go get 5 women pregnant, come back over here, and then send the dollars over, then automatically the kids will get taken care of, right? But that conversation was held like 2015, 14, thereabout. So how many years has it been? So it tells you that people do change and people do learn in life. So for me, I've always said that you don't have to be judgmental. Give people time to grow and learn. Now, Mr. Tintin, I'm back to you again.
I'm back.
The stubborn cat.
All right.
Polygamy.
Yes.
It requires a lot of money. It doesn't?
Not
'Cause
necessary.
In Africa, where we know that polygamy is a very standard thing, it's normal, right?
Yes.
But only the rich gets to have multiple wives, right?
No.
No?
No.
Poor people have multiple wives?
Yes.
In Africa?
Yes.
Why? Which one?
Okay. So
Why would
let's put it
any
this way.
woman be in a polygamous marriage when a man is broke?
Okay.
I'm sorry. Why?
Okay. So there is standards, right? And there's level to the game.
Okay. Oh, please enlighten me here.
Okay. So let's say I'm a farmer, right? And yes, I'm not Don Corte, I'm not Bill Gates. I will find a woman that is on my level, okay?
As the farmer.
As a farmer.
Okay.
I'm not going to be a farmer and try to go get a lawyer,
A lawyer wife.
a lawyer wife.
Okay.
I'm not going to be, and some, don't get me wrong that farmers are not rich. There's some very, very wealthy farmers.
Have money.
Right? But I'm talking about me living in my village somewhere, farming, planting cocoa, cutting it, or yams, harvesting once a year. I'm not wealthy. There is always my level of women that I can have. And I actually believe that if I'm at that low, that is when I need multiple wives.
So when you are rich, you don't need multiple wives.
Actually, I would say that the rich don't need multiple wives, but the poor do.
Why?
Okay. So I'm a farmer, right? I have an acre of land, right? In order for me to be able to get 2 acres, 3 acres, right? That I need to be able to sufficiently work that 1 acre,
Right.
right? And don't forget, as I said, women have always been our support. Maybe that one woman
It's not enough.
is not enough to support me do that work,
Okay.
right? And especially when she have a child.
Okay.
Can she help me go to the farm? No. At that time, she would need a sister wife. A sister wife would be helping me as well. And guess what? At the end of the day, we are all benefiting. Main wife is wife number one is benefiting. Her child is benefiting. Wife number two is benefiting. Her child is benefiting. Right? Wife number three is benefiting. Her child is benefiting. Guess what? When the children get to a certain age, they coming in to help. So now it came from 1 acre to be able to afford 3 acres, to be able to afford 5 acres. I'm not taking those acres with me to the grave when I'm gone. I'm leaving it to you, the wives, and you, the children. You, the seed. I'm doing what God brought me here to do. To procreate, right? And you being my helper.
I have a question for him.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you done? So I can go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Because I know you also started to. Okay, go ahead, Colombia, Hene.
Okay, you make great points, right? And you're right. Back in the day, that's what people did because the wives were working. The wives were not just sitting at home. The wives were in the field, they're working and building things, and also helping support the man, right? But I have one question. So you and your wife, you guys are good. Everything is clicking. Everything is great. Why would you want to risk that and bring another woman in, and that might mess up what you and your wife have going on? Because what you're saying is like, hypothetically, if everything goes well, that's what should happen. But not everything goes well 100% of the time. Even when you're doing planning, right? You plan for different outcomes. Even in when, let's say, you talk about the military, you talk about business, you talk about anything, even in health, you talk about, okay, what if this happens, what we're going to do? If this happens, what we're going to do? If this happens, what we're going to do? So you also have to also account for the other side of what could also happen, where that wife could come in and just mess everything up.
Yes,
between you
because
and
women
your
are
wife.
trouble.
If you are a man and you allow your other wife to come and destroy the home that you are building, then at that point, I'm starting to question your masculinity.
Okay, that's a good point. But what if, even with that, right? Men, right? A lot of men. So mainly, what you're saying is that a lot of men are not men or masculine.
Yes, a lot of men are now filled with estrogens.
Let me finish my
Instead of testosterone.
let me finish my statement. So, with what you said, right? You're saying that because a lot of men allow women that are not even their wives to even come into their lives and mess up
Side
what
chicks.
they have going on. It's sometimes not even side chicks,
And that should never ever happen.
So,
But it's happening.
So how far more than a wife or second wife?
And that's why I'm saying that if you are a man and you allow that to happen, you are more filled with estrogen than testosterone. You need to go back and learn what it means to be a man.
How can you learn how to be a man if your dad is not in the house to teach you how to be a man?
That's right.
Wives.
Remember, I never said my multiple wives are going to be in multiple cities. I don't believe that. If you are my wife, you're not even going to live 10 miles away from me. You will likely live either very, very close, or we will be living in a compound house.
With all your wives together?
But how many people can
something?
afford that in 2024 with inflation going high, with house prices going high? Now it's even more. It's cheaper to rent than to own a house.
Right.
So how can you afford that? The average man in America makes about $50,000 to $55,000 a year.
Yep. And 0.01% make 6 figures.
Now the average
Only
house
1% makes
in
6 figures
2024,
income.
the average is $394,000 average house.
Yeah.
In 2021 or 2018, it was 290 or something like that. How as a man going to sustain that?
Okay.
2024, some men still want to have a polygamous marriage, right? And that is where he kind of give you the stat. Like, look at the stat that is going on. A child alone, it costs over $300,000. So how are you going to afford that when you have multiple wives with 10 children? You got to be Nick Cannon to do that. But Nick Cannon, I'm pretty sure paying all those child support money is not a joke. It's not a joke, but he has already put himself in that situation already. Right now in 2024, how many men out there can afford to be in a polygamous marriage? How
Can
many?
a man marry himself?
Mecca, obviously, no.
Thank you.
You have to be with
So,
a woman.
You have to be with a woman,
Right.
Right.
Well, now a man
that
now.
yeah. So
Right.
if don't get me in trouble.
I'm
So
just saying.
so if a man cannot marry himself, the man have to marry a woman. And if the man is marrying a woman, that means the woman understands, right, that there can't be a sister wife.
No, why do
Now,
we have
if you
to
don't-
understand?
remember, I said when we came in, if we don't agree in the beginning, right?
But-
50% of the 50. That's where we end up with 50% divorce rate.
But this is 2024. How many women will agree, though? That's a question.
There's plenty of sister wives.
Okay.
Oh, go online and check.
Circumstances though, what is the situation that's in the home?
There's
What
plenty-
is the dynamic? What is going on?
Yes.
They're probably killing themselves.
No.
Or let's be very honest, and this goes
But
back
those
to
are
the
rare
point.
cases, too.
And it's rare, but 9 times
It's not
out of
many.
10, when you're talking about these situations, it's just pure selfishness. Even if we take it outside of the men and their sexual desires or just satisfying the flesh, women too, especially in 2024, they're not stupid.
Yes.
One, and they don't want to work anymore. Two, so if a man can do that for me, pay my bills, and this is just strictly coming from a selfish place.
Yeah.
Pay my bills, take care of me, and all I gotta do is share with another woman. Mind you, he could do that for me without even the ring.
Yeah.
Why not marry?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, this thing for men and women, it is a selfish decision. But the point that I wanted to make about the scenario you were given about the farmer and all that
Yeah.
extra stuff, I feel like similar to what
Colombia, Henny.
Columbia was saying, it almost sounded like you were painting a perfect picture. But for me, it's going again back to that. You can do whatever you want to do, but is it wise? Why? Because yes, I can choose or you can choose as a man to have more than one wife. But as a man, like you're talking about, a wise man, you have to count all the costs.
Yes.
If I'm going to bring a second woman into my home, at the end of the day, good or bad, she's still a human being.
Yes.
Jealousy can rise up at any moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
As a woman, we change drastically when we have kids. You may not be an angry woman until you have a child.
Yes.
Then you're fighting everybody up and down. In that home, you brought a child out of you, and another woman is coming into the home. You may have been the sweetest, kindest woman he met, but that situation or that dynamic will change you because you want the best for your child now. So now it's competition. Now it's war. So at the end of the day, yes, are there situations where both women, 3 women, 4 women, they live in peace until they die? But let's be real, we're talking about human beings here.
Yes,
It's rare.
I'm not saying everything is going to be perfect.
Do you also know that a lot of men that actually engage in polygamous, not I won't say a lot, but some actually don't have a proper structure in place in their household. Now let's go back to Africa because it's true.
Yep.
Okay.
And when you go back to Africa, I will use Africa as an example. You have a lot of men. I went back to Ghana last December. And my brother was telling me a story of a man who, he had like multiple businesses. He owned like a water company and other businesses. The man had 3 wives, first wife, second wife, third wife. Now check this out. Because you see, in Africa, it's like, and I feel like sometimes polygamous or this whole polygamy thing, I don't know whether it's like a fantasy thing. Like, it's like, it's like, it kind of like pat the men. It makes the men feel like, oh, I'm a man because I have 3 wives. Guess, let me tell you what happened. 3 wives in the picture with multiple businesses, right? Every wife, and what he did was that he gave each of his businesses for his wife to run the business. Number 1, wrong idea. He gave each business to, each of his wife. You run business A, you run business B, and you run business C. And when business A is not going well, then I'm going to give business B to my first wife. And so he keeps switching on. So there's no structure. No, this man is finally dead. Wives are fighting over properties. This person is going to fire this person and say, okay, if you step your foot in this business, I'm going to close down the company. And it's just back and forth. As I'm telling you right now, none of that man's business, as I'm talking to you right now, is sustainable. Everything is gone.
Okay.
Number 2, there's this man, I'm not going to mention his name, and it was all over on social media. A very rich man. He was actually, I believe he's a Muslim. He had 3 wives. Right there at the hospital, on this man's deathbed, You have 3 wives fighting over when I'm waiting, for him to send me my first my monthly monthly money or allowance or something.
Allowance. Yeah,
the man was in his deathbed. So it's like, you men in Africa wants to have multiple wives, but hereby some of them don't have proper structure in place. So you have a whole lot of what we call rich men or well-to-do men in Africa where they have multiple businesses, and right after they are dead, their businesses die with them. And when your business die with you, your wife and your children, you didn't leave any legacy.
Okay,
also,
so
then what is the point?
No, let me ask you this. Go ahead. Let me see how I should put
I feel like I know what you're about to ask, but let me let you
are you
ask
telling me that men with one wives that are well off, when they die, their businesses and everything stay intact?
That's not what I am saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, again, I believe nobody here have any issue when it comes to polygamy marriage, right? But most of the time, those men with multiple wives and many multiple children don't have proper structure in place. Because in Africa, when you have multiple wives, again, like I said, you put your hand and pat on your shoulder, right? It makes you feel like you are the man, right? And you being the man and you have all those businesses, because that is the reason why you can afford multiple wives. Because as you said, poor people in Africa don't have multiple wives. I'm yet to see one.
You yet to see one?
They do where? In the farm?
They nine
in the village.
Come on, I'll take you to the north.
No, but you see, there's a difference.
I'll take you to the north.
No, a wife and a side chick is not a polygamous marriage.
I'll take you to northern Ghana.
Oh, the northern region. But I thought they are doing farming over there.
Not only northern Ghana. Not only northern Ghana.
But are they not doing farming though? Yes, they're doing farming.
They do farming, but I have actually...
All the kids have proper education, all of them though.
I did not marry you, right, to make you my daughter.
That's right.
I married you for you to become my partner, right? I don't have to... I'm not responsible. Well, I am responsible for you because I'm married to you regardless, right? But you are my partner. And what does partners do? They help each other. So as I'm a farmer, I'm going out. It's a wife.
But why do you keep using farming though?
The reason why I'm using farming is my family is farmers, right?
Yes.
And I'm talking from a certain personal...
I get the point, but...
Okay, so what do you want me to do?
In general,
I love farmers, right? I wish I was a farmer, right? I wish I had stayed home and done farming. So I keep going to farmers.
I get your point.
What is the biggest job in, let's say, in Africa, right?
Farming.
It's farming.
It's farming.
Yes.
Right? So farmers are very important. They're the bread and butter of our lives. If they're not here, boom, we all done.
I agree.
So I love farmers, and I'm going to keep using farmers.
Go ahead, Colombian.
Let me say something. So, say you went to Ghana and you met somebody that was in a polygamous marriage or something like that, and you explain your story. So I also went to Ghana too. I also met a rich man, and he also was in a polygamous marriage. Everything is going well for him because he was honest up front.
From the beginning?
From the beginning of what he wanted.
Right. How many wives?
He has 3 wives, 10 kids.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but he's very rich enough to be walking around.
Take care of them, right?
Yes, I think he's almost rich in the $1 billion numbers. But yeah, he was very honest with the women. He told them up front, wife number 1, wife number 2, wife number 3. So they already knew what they were signing up for. And he sat them down, he talked them down, and he said that, hey, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And they agreed. And he doesn't even live with the wives.
Okay. He has his own place.
He has his own place, and he has them come in when he wants, and he sees kids and all that stuff. But it's working for him because all 3 wives understand and they know their place and know what's going on. But how many of that is happening now in 2024?
Right.
How many men are able to even tell a woman how they feel from the beginning that they
lie
with polygamy?
Okay, so now
they lie.
As I said,
they lie.
Or if they will marry another woman to the marriage.
Yes.
Well, and that's where I keep going back to where do you live and what is the norm over there, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is
The
my
fact that it's
grandmother,
the
my
norm
grandfather,
doesn't mean
That was
the
it's
woman.
still-
Like, let's
the
say I'm
woman,
a Muslim.
One is from right. One is white. One is white. She's from I think London, I believe.
Okay.
One is white. She's from London. One is from Nigeria, and I think the other one is like
So none of the
South African or something.
none of
like
the
that.
women are Ghanaian.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter.
Why?
It doesn't really
he doesn't
matter.
like Ghanaian girls.
It doesn't really matter where it is, as long as you
Yeah.
were honest
From the
upfront.
beginning.
And-
Okay.
Upfront.
and they agree and they know what they stand up for.
Yeah.
and everything. So people are practicing polygamy in America. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
If you have a child with a man and you're not married to the man, right, and you decide you want to go have a husband somewhere else, right, you are practicing polygamy because you have a family with one man and you're about to start another family
With
with
another
another
man.
man. That's
Okay.
the same thing as polygamy. So when people speak against polygamy, they need to really
Define it.
and
Right.
look back at themselves because they should know that, hey, it's not just marrying somebody is polygamous, because I could marry you today and divorce you tomorrow. But if we have a kid together, we are more than just marriage. We are family. Just because you marry somebody don't mean that you guys. It means your family, but it means your family for the moment. You get what I'm saying? But when you have kids, or if you don't even marry them, you have kids, you're family. You're tied to that person for the rest of your life.
Right.
So if you have a kid by one man, right, and have another kid with another man, you have two families. So you are in a polygamous relationship, whether you want to believe it or not. You have two families with two different men.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
people are practicing it, and they are.
So do you all think that US here in the US polygamy should be legalized? Because it's not.
It's not, but
Okay.
people are practicing.
Do you
it.
think it should be?
That's a good question.
Well, it's a very good question.
Yeah.
As I said before, I'll come back to it. Depending where you live in, right? In America, polygamy wasn't a choice from the starting
From
of
the
the country,
beginning,
from
yeah.
the beginning, right? Polygamy was never a choice. So I don't see it
Ever happening?
ever happening.
Like the feminists would
was
chop
a
it into
choice.
pieces.
People,
Big time,
They were
yeah.
doing it.
It would
they were
never
doing
last.
They were doing it in the past.
Oh, they were?
Especially with slavery and all that.
In
they were-
America?
No, they
Oh,
had
they would
one
use that-
wives,
use that.
but they have
Concubines.
and
stuff, yeah.
whatever,
So they
right?
were starting different families. Some of that, the slave owner will sleep with the slaves and stuff.
But that's not a wife.
That's-
It doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're still doing family. You have still a family, whether you believe it or not. That's still
I
a
can't
family.
sell my family. I can't decide to.
Yes, you can.
I don't want them. But,
People do it.
well. Anyways, as we go back, I don't
Right.
want to sell my family.
Right.
Right. You can't do it in America because it was never part of the
From the foundation.
foundation and the
Right.
fabric of society. Against it, it would not work here.
You can do it in one state. I think it's Utah.
Really? Is that what they're doing? That
He's
sister
right
wife
there.
over
Yeah.
there?
I remember. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But on
But
the broad
I
general,
bet those men are rich, right?
no.
No,
They are poor?
they have like their religion and
Oh, those, religion stuff. Yeah.
And that's what I was about to come to. So it depends on what society allows you to do, right? If I go tell my wife right now I want another wife, right? There'll be a rope and forensics will be coming
I
in.
understand why you asked me, like, what church is Columbia Hini going
Right.
to?
Right? But if I go back to where where I'm from, my grandfather, right? I was telling you about it.
Another farmer?
Another farmer. Another farmer. Had 5 wives.
Okay.
Right? 5 wives. In fact, the youngest children, they twins. Right? They're in Germany right now. They're younger than my little sister. It's funny. I won't even go in the age wise, right? But what I've seen is it worked out.
Okay.
It worked out and worked out well.
From whose point of view, then?
From my point of view and their point of view.
You had conversations with each of them, the wives,
No,
how
I
they
can see their
felt.
lives.
Did you have a conversation with them, though?
I don't have to have a
You
conversation
do, though.
with it.
And the reason why I say that is because a lot of women, even in monogamous relationships, are suffering in silence.
Talking
So
of
did you
polygamy.
have conversations?
So are men.
Right. So my thing
Everybody's
is that
suffering.
I'm not
suffering.
separating
But
the
this is-
gender. I'm trying to point a fact, because you said from
Okay,
your
fine.
point of view, but did you have a conversation with these women individually?
And they told you that
And they
all
told
of
you
them are
and confirmed that it's working.
all rainbow.
Did the kids also say that it's working?
If it wasn't working and it didn't work, then you should have left.
Not for everybody.
Are you kidding me? Back
Not
in the days,
for
women didn't have a
everybody. And
choice
it's
of
No,
leaving.
it wasn't back in the days. My grandfather just died.
But those
That's
years
when
ago.
back in the day.
wait. Here in the US or back in Africa?
We're talking about back home in
Those
Africa.
women are housewives, I believe. They are
No,
getting
they don't
taken.
work.
They were all working.
They weren't housewives.
Yeah, most of them probably stayed because of the kids.
No.
If
But
you're talking about women back
if they are
home, it's
miserable
very
and they
rare
are
for
still in
them
the
to
marriage, why are they
leave.
in there then?
But
Yeah.
who said they were miserable?
Did you have the
But you didn't have that conversation with them.
If I didn't have a conversation with you of whether you are miserable, did I have a conversation with you whether you are happy? If I didn't have a conversation with you, hey, my friend, are you miserable? You said miserable. If I'm not asking you, are you happy? Then the conversation was never had. So I'll go back to you, the default of you being happy because you never said anything about it.
Right.
But that
So
does
that is
not,
the default.
that could be a false representation of what is actually going on, and that happens in people's lives all across board.
What is the human nature when something is not pleasing to them, or anybody?
First of all, for a lot of people, and I would know because I'm a mental health therapist, okay? So I know, and I meet these people every day. A lot of people suffer in silence. A lot.
So is men. Dogs
I'm
suffer in
not, that's,
silence.
but listen, I
Cats
said,
suffer in
wait,
silence.
I said people. I'm not separating the gender. I said people.
In
A
general.
lot of people suffer in silence.
I'm
a lot of
suffering in silence because I'm not Bill Gates. Okay, so everybody's
But that's a
But my
financial
thing
problem.
is that
Financial
you're
suffering.
talking about
you get it,
But you're talking about
everybody's
being
suffering
able
from
to-
something.
right, but you're talking about being able to point it out based off of the life that I see you live in. We live in a social media world right now. A lot of people are broke, but they're presenting as rich. We
And whose problem
we
is that?
live. It doesn't matter. That's not the point.
That's
The
not my
point-
problem.
It's not. We're not talking about whether it's a problem
If
for
you
you or
don't-
not.
if you do
But
not
we're going to
want
the point
to-
that you're making as far as me watching your life and being able to come up with a conclusion, right? Or be able to have a sensible opinion about whether you're enjoying life or not. It's not enough unless I've had a conversation with you or unless I know you. What you see really does not hold water. It does not matter.
Then show me what it is.
You should. I'm saying that you should
So
have had.
it's my responsibility.
It's not your
to
responsibility.
make sure that
but
your mental health.
No,
is
no, no.
okay.
It's not your responsibility to do nothing. But if you're going to bring it up as a point to back up your point, you have to come with facts. You didn't have a conversation with these women, so how can you use it to back up your statement? It's not
Okay.
adding up.
So if now that the old man is gone,
That's not our business
So
either,
let me
is it?
put it
Because
this way.
these are things that
if the old man is gone, right, you are still, you have stores, you're able to take care of your children. Matter of fact, if you are able to support your child to go to Germany, right, and you are telling me that you are not happy, you are having mental
these
health,
are all
you are
things
married
from
to
your
the
point
man,
of view,
you are
though.
married to the man 20, 30
No,
years.
these are all things from your point of view. Even when you look at African kids nowadays, most of them that don't have good relationships with their parents, for example, have these conversations when they get older. And what does our parents always say? I clothed you,
Yeah.
I fed you,
Yeah.
I provided
How
for you.
dare you
but
talk
yet,
back?
Majority of
Yes.
them
How
would
dare you
say
talk
what?
back
They did
if
not
I
feel
clothed
loved
you
or
and I
they weren't
feed you?
loved. So that cannot be your argument.
You want love?
But so
What is
so
love?
so the fact that
What
you
is love?
hold on,
She said
hold on.
they want love.
That's not
Tell
what
me
we're talking
what
about.
is love.
Clothing
That
is not
is
love,
not what we're
sweetheart.
talking
No,
about.
not clothing. But providing for you is love, because I would not provide for my enemy.
Well,
Would I?
yeah.
Without buy my enemy, without give my food to my enemy, without
Maybe
pay my
they just
enemy
want
school fees.
more than just providing clothes. How about that?
Okay, so then sometimes, right? Maybe my way of showing you love is paying for your school fees.
Okay.
It's buying you food. It's going and working, let's say at night while you were sleeping, to get money to come to make sure that you have a roof over your head. And then you come to me because you tell me that, because you didn't tell me you love me.
That is your responsibility as a
That is
father.
And let me tell you, okay? So then what is love? To a man, love is responsibility, is duty. If I don't do my duty to you, that means I do not love you.
Okay. So if that is the case, then would you also say that a man can do all of that and still beat the wife and it's still love?
Let me put it this way. What if you telling me that I am a man with anger problem cannot love?
This is what you said.
I don't believe in beating people, but
no. So
but
this is what
it
you
can
said. No, but so you provide for me, you clothe me, you buy food, you do all of that, right? And then you beating me every day as your wife. Is that one love?
That's why I'm saying that. Okay, so why? Then that means there's a problem. Number one, you shouldn't beat your wife regardless, right?
I feel like the question though is it love?
Is it love?
I think we're trying to get
Is
to
it
the
love?
answer of
What is love?
No, but is it love?
Tell
Is
me
it
love.
love?
What is love?
I feel like
What
it's
is-
still. I feel
Tell
like-
me.
I
Give
feel
me a
like-
definition of love.
I feel like it's still love, but sometimes people do make mistakes.
Can somebody give me a
what I'm saying?
definition of
when
love?
we-
Your wife
Somebody is a
every time
mistake.
it's a mistake.
I think that people that love people don't want to hurt the people that they do love. So if it's something that is repeating, then okay, then you might want to question the love that this person has for you, because people that genuinely love somebody,
They don't touch
want
them,
to,
yeah.
they do not want to do anything
Right,
that could
to
hurt
hurt you,
them,
right.
or even
Yes.
mess up their plans or movement in any type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But people do make mistakes. So somebody could accidentally hit his wife, right? And that could be the only time that he ever hit his wife his whole entire life. So if it's something that just happened once and it's a mistake, you can move on from that. You know what I'm saying? We're all humans and we all have flaws. But at the end of the day, if it's like repeating, then that's a different thing.
Right.
Hitting someone can
What
be a
is
mistake.
can you
How is that a
can you put out a
You could
definition of love?
You could accidentally hit somebody. It happens all the time. You watch sports, you can accidentally hit somebody.
I mean,
You
in a
want to know the
sports
definition of
setting,
love,
that's different.
but
We're
in
talking
your
about a
own
relationship.
term, what do you think love is?
In my own term, love is duty.
Providing a duty.
Whatever my duty is, right? If I'm fulfilling my duty, that means I love you.
So that's what I'm asking again. You providing everything that you're doing, but on the other hand, you are actually abusing the woman. So then, will that also considered love?
That's called
if
manipulation.
my duty,
Thank you.
now
That's
let me
not
put it
love.
this way: what is my duty? My duty as a man
is to protect, love, and provide.
Then guess what?
Hitting your wife is not protecting your wife.
Now that, and let me. I'm not saying that I believe in hitting your wife or anything like that, right? Violence. That's why I ask you, what is my duty to you as a wife? I mean, as a husband.
Yes,
What is
love,
it?
protect, and provide.
Okay. So if I'm protecting you and I hit you, am I protecting you?
You are not.
So that means I'm not doing my duty.
Okay, I get your point. I get the logical.
So then it's not love.
It's not love then.
Then it's not love.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking you the word love. What is the word love?
Because men interpret love differently and
And
women
that's
interpret
what I'm
love
saying,
differently.
because that's women. Like I was telling my wife, right? I was like, babe, you love our children. You will love them regardless. Right? I love my children conditionally. I'm telling you right now, I love them conditionally. Now, if you start doing some crazy stuff, or I tell you to do this and you're giving me a hard way, at that moment, I don't love you. I'm just being real with you. I don't love you. I don't love what you are doing.
You don't love what you're doing, but that's mean you don't love them.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
different thing.
no. Trust me, men.
That's deep.
Men, if you think about it very carefully, women are more affectionate. That's why women. That's why you never leave children freely to women, because
That
guess
is the
what?
more reason why a
they
man-
will pamper them.
But that's the reason why a man
me-
must be in the life of the kids. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Who said polygamous men are not in the lives of their children?
They are not there every day.
But wait,
Matter of fact, even if you're a
They're not even
marriage,
there every 6 months.
let
Some
me
of them,
put it this way.
I don't know how
Even if
many
you're a
times
monogamous
he cannot
marriage-
see all his kids in 1 year.
Preaching is that love is conditional. That's not
Love is
it.
conditional.
But that is not
He's-
love. That is not love.
Then
That
what is
should not
love?
be. That is not love. Is unconditional.
Oh.
Period.
No.
Love, if we're talking about real love, love is unconditional. If you are putting conditions to love on
Yes.
for me, you additional love. That is the wrong definition.
Of
That
love.
is the wrong message of love.
Let me put it
It
this way.
cannot be uncut. No, it don't work
If we
that
are
way.
married, right, and then I come home, right, and I come and find another man in my bed, right, should I love you? Because I'm married to you and I say I'm gonna love you, should I love you?
Your love for me will not change. It's not even should or should not. It won't change. When you
It
love,
won't change.
when you love, first of all,
man-
if we're answering the question of what love is, that goes into a whole nother topic. So I don't know if we're even gonna go
Yeah,
there.
we're not gonna go there because
So that starts a whole
that's
nother
that's a
thing.
whole different show,
Right.
A whole 1 hour 30 minutes on love and really kind of breaking
But
it down.
No, that's a good question. Answer the question. That's a good question. That says love change? Yes or no?
Love change.
I answered the question. For me, I said
She
that
said
the
no.
love will not change.
The love will not change, so he will still love you the same way that he loved you.
He will still love you, yes.
The
as-
same
but he will not
way-
be with you.
But he will not be with
the
you.
same way
That's
that
delusional.
the same-
That is not
No,
delusional.
that's
That is
not-
just the
that's
reality.
delusional.
You don't just automatically stop loving somebody because you saw them cheating. Even women that go through it more than y'all. It's not that
No,
you stop
that-
loving the man,
men-
but at the end of the day, you're no longer in that relationship because of the choice that he made.
Men-
Even
Oh,
love
what
for
are you
your
talking about?
mother.
I can love
Even
you
love
and
for your mother is conditional.
Hold on.
Men-
Go ahead, Ima, Columbia, and I'll
way
say
men-
I'll ask something about based on what she said.
The way
Like,
men and women
Love is different.
is different.
Yeah.
If a man come and see his woman laying in the bed with another man, his love will change.
He will
Trust
go
me on that,
crazy.
So
because
then
at the end of the day-
what is love then? 'Cause I feel like we can't- what is love
Hear me out.
then?
Hear me out. Because the person that he loved is not the person that's laying in the bed with that man. If he knew that this is what's going on, the type of love level that he has for you is not gonna be at that level, knowing that this is what you're doing.
Does that work for women too?
do women should
Because
women
the-
also
the
change
point
their
is-
love
Right, you get to the
when they
point, does
find out
work
that
for
you
women
mentioned
too?
No woman that ever find another woman in their bed love their husband the same ever.
Okay.
Unless you're in polygamous marriage where she expects that.
Okay.
Because it's not the same person.
Because
that you
the
thought
trust
you
is
thought
broken.
you thought you love. Give me a name. You thought you love Sarah. Sarah, the woman
It's
that you
in
love,
bed with Nathan.
Is not.
No, not Nathan, no.
No, but let's say Sarah. Let's say Sarah, right?
You
You
gotta take
love
it to
Sarah, right?
church.
The Sarah that you love is not the Sarah that you're seeing in the bed.
Right.
That's not who you.
You're not
think.
seeing Sarah, you're
not
seeing Shekinah.
You're not seeing the same Sarah that you know of, right?
Right.
This is a different Sarah that you know of. This is the make believe Sarah that you have in your mind, and it's the real Sarah that you're seeing. So your love for that Sarah is going to change,
Right.
because you don't trust that Sarah anymore, and love comes with trust.
And then when you do that, you know something. Let me tell you something about men, and they won't admit. But immediately that thing happens, the man, all of a sudden don't even trust yourself anymore. And that is where I sometimes have even problem with monogamous marriage, right? Because I'm with you. I know you. You the woman that I marry. You the woman that I spend half my fortune to get you that rock, right? I thought I knew you. And now I come and somebody else. Now I start questioning myself.
But is it the same
That
feeling?
really knows you.
But is it the same feeling when it's on the other, like
Do
when
you
it flips?
have the same understanding
it's
for a
the
woman when the
same-
tables turned?
There's the thing. It's the same feeling when the woman is in monogamous marriage.
Okay, so then why is it that when that happens, then you men will say, "Oh, I'm a man.
Thank you.
Just forgive
Yes.
me, let it go." Blah 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 blah.
It's manipulation.
Manipulation.
No, yes,
Thank
and
you.
women. Remember, women are nature has made them because of that's just my opinion, because of childbearing. Nature,
Compassion.
nature has given them more compassion and affection.
Isn't that the
I don't
reason
like
why
that.
men take advantage of
I
that?
don't like that.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
We will take advantage. Oh, of course, I'll take advantage of it any day, anyhow, if I get caught. Of course, I know that. Oh, I'll tell you the truth, I know that, right? Because I know that I know the nature of women. But guess what? I will be naive. The naivism will be on a different level.
Thinking that
if
she
I
won't leave?
think that, not even when she leave, if even she stays, she'll be the same person.
That's a good one.
You will never have the same person again, because that person is dead and gone.
Gone. Right.
Right? So now you now have to deal with another person. And if you don't do it right, she'll be bitter. Even though she says she forgives you, she's bitter. The trust is gone. All that is right. That is where I was saying that at the beginning, right? Even the Bible said, if you believe it, whenever two make an agreement, not even God can break it.
Right.
Right? So we understand each other. We have an understanding. that there is a possibility of bringing in another woman. You understand that from the get-go.
Okay.
Like, even if you are Muslim, right, that is something that I afforded to them. Not all Muslims do that.
Yeah.
Right? It is not easy. Not all Muslims do that. But that's something that is afforded to them, so the Muslim woman know that my husband have the right
To bring in another woman.
to bring another woman. When we go to traditionalists, right, our Nananum will tell us, look, give us the right to marry multiple. Our ancestors gave us the right to marry multiple. So any woman that comes from that background understand this, because that is their norm, that's their culture, that's what they see. Right now, if you don't agree with it, you don't have to. Then you go find Mr. Joe that is also monogamous, and Mrs. Lee and Mr. Joe can get together and have monogamous relationship. And kudos to you. I'll see you in 50 years, and let's see if you are together.
So
But
I have
anyways,
I have.
because you have 50% chance.
You said something, but I'm going to ask follow-up question on that, and I'll go through each one of you here. Okay, so when a man marries multiple women,
Yes.
can he love both women?
Question of the day.
Can he love both of them at the same time?
I've come back to my perspective.
Don't answer
of
that.
Love.
Hold on. I'm going to let the first lady here answer that first. Shola,
Yeah.
can a man love two women unconditionally at the same time? Can them?
I personally feel like
Can they?
it's not impossible, but it is very hard for a human being to do such.
Okay.
Because we're talking natural nature, the nature of men and women, and how we were made, and how the society.
Right.
Naturally speaking, it is very hard, I won't say impossible, for you to say that you can love two women, especially to say the same. Love is in my opinion, is a very powerful thing. Love comes with dedication, time, loyalty, attachment, and to have that for two women is possible. Sorry, it's not possible.
It's not possible. Colombia, Hene. What's the day?
In the Bible,
Can you men do that? Because that's what the Bible said. The Bible says you have to love both of them equally. Right?
in the Bible, it says that in Exodus 21, verse 10, it says
Preach.
that if he take another wife for himself, her food, her clothes, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Basically, it's meaning that if you do want to have more than one wife, right, whatever you're doing for the first wife, you should continue to do the same thing that you're doing for the first wife, and you should do the same thing for the second wife. Basically, so there's laws that govern that more than one wife.
It's 2024. Can men do that?
Can men do the same thing like
2024 right now?
Why the same thing for wife A and wife B?
And love them equally.
Only like I say, 2-3% of men have the capacity.
Right.
2 to 3%.
Yeah, have the
Capability to do
ability
that.
to do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's impossible, but I think if you're just talking about men, it's
and
very
their
hard.
ego will not even allow them to do that.
Very hard, and you find it very rare. Even with the whole conversation of polygamy, there are very few men that actually do have multiple wives, and it works.
Yes.
But it works because of structure. It works because there's a certain level of discipline that man has that he implements in the home.
Yes.
But majority of the men that we come
don't.
across, they don't have the character to maintain that household or the finances, but yet you want it. It doesn't add up.
Because their dad was not in the house.
That's a good
Well,
conversation.
as you
too.
said,
I like that.
as you said,
He
structure.
just ate it.
Right.
You said structure, right? The man must have the discipline and the structure. And in the beginning, I said, today's day and age, right? We have conditioned men to be
Women
simps, basically.
to be what?
Because their dads are not in the house.
Simp.
And that's the thing. They don't know what it means to be a man and what it means to have structure.
You can't teach that if you're not in the house.
What makes you think that a polygamous man is not in the house?
They are not.
A lot of them are not.
They are not.
A lot of them are not. Let's
So
be
you
honest.
saying that monogamous men are in the house?
More likely.
Wait, you said they're.
More likely.
Yeah, because you're
And
not
that's
sharing
why,
your
and
time.
that's why we have 50% of divorce rate.
But that
But
is
that's not even. That's a whole.
entirely
Yeah,
the
that's
reason.
that's a
know
whole
that.
other.
But the whole thing is, if you are divorced, right? You're not in the house all the time, anyways.
But there's still a system
But
that's
you're
put in
still-
place for
you're-
parents that co-parent. You know that, right?
Okay, so what
And
makes
they
you think
co-parent
that
very well.
a polygamous man cannot, be in the life of their
Let's be
children?
real.
When you
Even
have
with- even
three
if-
wives
even
with 10 children, how are you gonna do that?
Even with
Three wives with 10 children.
Ah.
I'm with you Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh,
I'm
come
with you
on.
let's be
Saturday,
honest.
Sunday.
Stop
And you're
it.
a
Come
man
on.
that's a farmer
Stop
and
it.
you're working
Come
on
on.
your
Stop
business.
it.
You
Oh,
don't
so
have
you
enough
want-
energy.
so
It's
you
Let's
want-
be real.
possible.
No, you don't.
It's not possible.
Do you think I need to be there 24 hours, 7 days a week to put structure in my child?
You have to be
Yes.
there, honey.
Okay, so then what if I'm divorced with you and now I live in California?
Why are you in California then? Because
So you saying that? So you saying that the marriage didn't work, right? More likely that the woman left because what? Women leave more than men. Look it up. More the intensity of
Women
divorce.
initiate more divorce.
Yes. So they are more the ones that initiate more divorce.
Yes.
Right? So now
'Cause
I'm
you are
wrong.
not
And
acting
just because
That's not the
you
reason
have
why.
kicked me out, right? Because of whatever reason, right? And now you are trying to dictate to me where I need to live in order to be my son or child's life.
But you see, this whole divorce thing, right?
If
This whole
you wanna
divorce
be
thing,
your
right?
son's or child's
That is
life,
the
why would
reason
you
why even it says that
Then why do women initiate 80% of divorce?
No, but wait, you're saying a woman divorces you, fine. I don't think she's dictating where you should or should not leave. But you, as a man that says, I want to be in my child's life, why are you going to California if your children are in Maryland?
Well, let me tell you this.
It's a contradiction.
Let me tell you this.
Uh-huh.
A lot of women after divorce, right, are bitter towards the men, right?
Yeah, maybe because of maybe something that you guys
They
did.
turn the children
That's not
against
the
men.
case most of the
And
time.
most men,
so why are they better?
and most men,
If Michael-
Mr.
be
Titi,
around.
hold on. I want to hear Columbia. Henry. Why are they better then? If not because of something that you guys did, then why are they better?
Because the relationship is not where it is, and maybe because they left and the man finds somebody better. A woman could be better because of that too. So at the end of the day,
Okay.
when just like when you get married and you get divorced, right? The same woman that you married and the same person that you're divorcing. You get what I'm saying? Because that's the same person. If you knew this the person that you're divorcing is who you're about to marry, you're not going
probably
to marry.
wouldn't have, right,
You're not going to
from
marry
the
that
beginning.
person. So in most cases, when divorce happens, a lot of women will try to get as much as they can from the man and then some. So they also use the kids as tools
Right.
to get as much money from the man as they can. And then sometimes they want to hurt the man, and the way they hurt the man is by using the kids. So some women will actually leave the country or leave the state with the kids.
Just to punish you.
Yeah, because of the man.
Right.
then let me put it this way. Then I'll tell all men, forget about getting married because it's a bad deal. Because it's a bad deal. Why am I saying it's a bad deal? Right? You marry me, you taking these kids, as you were saying, you're using them against me. It's a loss for me. What do I
Right.
gain out of it? I don't get anything. At the end of the day, who goes into a business and say, "Oh, when the business
Marriage is a business?
marriage
is a business.
Marriage
Marriage is a
works just like a
If
business."
any business now.
Marriage,
It
no,
turns-
marriage.
With what is happening now.
The first form of business is marriage.
Because guess
Because
what?
you can be rich
The first form of
in marriage.
The first form of business is marriage.
If you look on the Forbes list, right?
There's no
Most
such
of the
maybe
women on the Forbes list
Yep.
make their money
through divorce.
through divorce.
Yes.
Either through divorce or the
And then,
man
you see
died.
where I'm coming
or
from.
the man,
So now-
died.
So now,
So yeah, it was only few women on that list that are like self-made billionaires. Majority of them make their money because of divorce, or maybe the man, died and she inherited,
Yeah.
the money. Yeah.
if you look on that list, if you could pull it up, look on that list and look at the first 50.
It's men.
And then
It's all
the
through
first
divorce.
50, all the women that are in there, let's look at the ones that are self-made billionaires.
Most of them, well, majority of them, like 90% of them are through
99%.
marriage.
Yeah.
Through divorce. Yeah.
So now, that's why I'm saying that if we come to that, it's a bad deal, man, and then it's just a bad deal.
Marriage is a bad deal. Is
It's
that
a
what you
bad
said?
deal, and that's what
Are
it's
you not
turning
married?
into. I'm married, but that's
Idea.
hey, there's some bad deals you just
He's
take.
not married. You're not like you're
no.
not motivating him.
And today's
So
day
like you
and day,
married. So like he's not married. You're not like.
get married, find yourself a rich guy. Don't get married and run for your life. Because guess what?
I don't.
Some of us, we are a done deal. There's nothing nobody can do to help us like stuff. We love our wives. We're not gonna leave. But then guess what? They might leave, but we are not gonna leave.
Aww.
Right? We are a done deal. You get yourself a rich man. Get rich. Look, I don't look down upon that. Never I look down upon women that get poor men.
Oh.
I struggle.
Woo.
Right?
You know.
But if you're not gonna help me make the money, then just don't find yourself somebody that's already made. Become a second wife, and then when I die, become
child.
yourself baby
Child, please. Please.
Hey.
I'm saying
Hey.
some women are not meant to be second wives, okay?
Hey, then stay in your monogamous marriage.
Yes.
I will see you when you turn 45, and there is 50% of the chance that you'll be alone. And then guess what? Hey, because
But
the
if they're
divorce rate
monogamy,
is
so how are they going to be alone?
guess what? If you're a monogamous
divorce-
and you get divorced, right?
No, but
and-
why
and
would
what
they be
age?
alone if they are still in the marriage, though? They won't
If
be
you're in the
alone.
marriage, then you are fine. You are part of that better. I wouldn't even say 50%. I think it's like 60-40. You're part of the 40%.
They have been able to hold on it.
Right. And you can able to.
And I
hold
am
on
part
to.
of the 40%.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, if you are not, come and join my
There's
group.
no option. I am part of the 40%.
You know, let me ask the last question and we'll wrap this thing up. I love this.
Yes.
You said something that, when you turn 50, right? That brings me to my last question.
Sure.
Do you think we are going to get to a time where polygamy is will be nothing but like a choice now that every woman has to make? Would there be a time? Is it coming?
It's already here.
Wait, can we say that one more time? A time that women are choosing to be in polygamous
Yes, a
relationships?
time where like polygamy is not going to be like the thing now. Like
They're already doing it. They're just
I
that
think,
there's no marriage attached to it, but the women are already in polygamous relationship because even when we look at
100%, yeah.
statistics, right? Women are not attracted to half the men that are alive. They're attracted to at least like 20.
It's about 10%.
maybe 30%. That's even to be nice. It's more likely since social media it's like 10%.
Yeah.
Before social media was like 20%.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people that knows what's going on, they know that usually that one person that is sleeping with everybody. And then there's a lot of men that are not having sex at all. If you look at even look at the stats of men that have sex in a year, right? Half the men alive don't have sex the whole year.
It's 70%, actually.
70%?
Yes.
Of
Men
men?
are becoming
Really?
stale.
Yeah.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah, men are not having
Men are
sex.
becoming
So-
stale because they
But there's
are.
so many women. Why they not?
Right, I didn't know
Yes,
that.
because
all
guess
women-
what?
all women want
The
the top
most
guys.
women want that
Oh, they
10%
want the top guys. Okay.
of the top guys.
Oh, so the
And
women
now
don't
they-
want the broke guys. The
No, you don't have to be broke.
You don't have to be broke.
You just have to be
top guy.
top guy in whether it's status. If you're top guy in status,
Or good looking.
a top guy, and when it comes to like good looks, height, and stuff like that, and top guy when it comes to like finances. So
So is that what we
Those
call
three.
now the high value men?
well, being
No.
being tall or whatever don't make you a high value man,
Right.
And being a high status don't make you a high value man.
Because I feel like there's this thin line, right? Now it's like men make us figure that they think they're high value. Child, go
No.
to the seat. Yeah, it's true,
I value men are muscular men.
Ooh.
Big time. And
wish we could
you can
elaborate
say
on that.
whatever you
What's a
want to say.
masculine man?
But let me
Right.
tell you what a muscular
Yeah,
man
please.
is.
Don't like to that. Please.
Muscular man is a man that women cannot manipulate. And women love men they cannot manipulate. A woman will want to be with a man that will want to marry a man she can manipulate, but yes, she wants to sleep with a man she cannot manipulate. And guess what? And women will try that. Women will try the manipulation thing and try to get you to change your value. It's a nature thing, right? To see, and it's a nature thing. Listen, when she becomes vulnerable, let's say she's pregnant, right? At 9 months, she's vulnerable, right? is this man have enough value, enough structure, enough will and grace to stand his ground, to protect me? Or is this man easily manipulated?
Well, if
And
you're
guess what?
easily-
They can find it. They know that.
That don't make
And
any
guess
sense.
what? Look at them. Look at the men. You are women, right? Women here. Do you think about? Do you like the Mr. Nice guys? You
See,
know
that's
why
where a
they
lot of
say-
women messes up.
Do you
Yeah.
like the Mr.
Wait,
Nice
wait.
guys?
That's where a lot of women mess
It's
up.
just the priorities.
Strong
People's priorities are just
and
wrong.
No.
No, just because you're strong and structured don't mean that you're nice or mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right? Just because you can manipulate somebody don't mean that person will not be there for you when you need it. That it is all comes with the person's value. You get what I'm saying? So if you're trying to manipulate somebody, it doesn't change their value. If this is who I am, this is who I am. Just because somebody is manipulating you to do stuff or make you think a certain way, it doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, you should be with somebody that actually care for you. And that's a lot of mistake that women are making because they will get with somebody that the person is nice to them, right? And they'll think that they take that person's niceness for weakness.
That's love also.
But if we're being honest with the women that we have nowadays, a majority of women are not even going for the ones that are nice or going for the ones that are strong. They're going for the men that are actually manipulating them.
Let me.
So that's a
explain.
whole because what you're saying is not wrong, but if we're just looking at the dynamics of women,
Right.
a lot of women are crying,
Yeah.
because you're allowing or choosing the man that's actually coming into your situation to manipulate you. So you're not even here to manipulate anybody. They're the ones that running game on you.
Okay, so you know the children's story Beauty and the Beast, right? Okay, so Beauty had the Beast. Beauty had the same Beast was the prince, right? And the same prince was the guy that Beauty didn't want, right? That farmer guy. The three person was in one, right? Beauty did not want the prince. Beauty did not want that guy that was helping him, but Beauty wanted the Beast. Why did Beauty wanted the Beast? Because Beauty thought that she could tame the Beast. And guess what? Any man that cannot tame his beast, you cannot be a man of value and structure. We need that beast, right? To be able, and a man of structure is the one that knows that he have the beast in him, but yet you can tame it. As the Bible say, the world belongs to the white, the meek. And if you go look at the definition of meek, is the person that have his sword, right, in his shield, but yet can take out the sword when he needs to. And that is who women want. The man that can take out their sword when they need it to protect them. And yet it goes back
But
to
how many women
our
are in situations
relationship.
like that though?
And
And how
that's
many
why-
women are
that's why-
choosing men like
Yeah,
that
because-
though?
and that
Let's
is-
be real. A
because
lot of
if
men that
Those
you're
men are just 10%.
But listen, the
Those
men
men are
that
just
you're,
the
but the
10%
men that
men.
you're talking about, I feel like, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. Every woman has met at least one that fits that category. But how come you're not with him?
Guess what?
A lot of
Because
women
you
But
want
no,
him.
no, no,
Every
no.
guy
A lot
has
of women
a
want that
different
beast.
woman.
No.
And you have choices.
No. There, every single, especially women that cry a lot about heartbreak. You have met at least one man in your life that is exactly the definition of what you're describing.
Yeah.
But majority of women do not choose that man
Yeah,
because
they
at the
overlook
end of the day, right. And the reality is, as much as we as women talk about men not having it put together, we too as women, we don't have it put together all the way too.
Amen.
And then guess what?
Let the church say amen.
And then we suffer.
Right.
And then guess what? The 10%, and you are telling the 10% to only keep one? If 90% of the men are simps and not able to put themselves together, and there's that 10% that can put themselves together, that 10% should have 100 women if they want.
Huh?
Yeah.
But the reality is that with those
Because guess what? That 10% is a structure. Remember, when you build a house, the foundation, that man already have his foundation, right? It's not even wealth, it's the structure, it's the thing, like, it's the point that you will not be manipulated. You are strong. You, guess what? When she go out and get hurt, she knows that she can come home to a rock.
Right.
Not come home to a man that is painting his nails and all.
But what
you
that
don't have his
but that is why.
shit together.
But how your rock? How is she gonna come home to you if you have other people that you have to attend to?
guess what?
Yes, because you're busy.
I don't. Guess what? Don't literally means doesn't mean your presence have to be there. It's knowing that okay, I can pick up the phone and call Tintin, and Tintin can tell me exactly what to do when I don't know what to do. And that is, women need leadership.
Of course, women need leadership
At the house.
But the question
And
is, how
most
many men?
are not leaders?
No,
Most men are self-fed.
I like
Let's
what
go
you're
to
saying.
the-
Women needs leadership, right? But how many women are ready to be led?
Ooh, and that's why they are struggling. And that's why the divorce rate is so hard. And that's why they are crying at night. And that's why, guess
Just give
what?
a shot
Except
of
both
tequila.
them, both men and women are crying.
That 10% man, that 10% man don't cry. You know why he doesn't cry? Because he got options. He knows.
And that
he can
10%
get it.
is the high value man, right?
Thank you. A high value man don't
Case
have
closed.
to have the money.
Case closed. That's why I like this show. Wow.
We gotta get
At the end of the day, it's just my thought. You don't have to take it. You don't have to, whatever. Just a little bit of advice. You should treat people well.
Yes.
And go for people that treat you well.
Yeah.
And if you have somebody treating you well, do not take that person for advantage.
Yeah.
Because me sitting right here, I'll tell you that there's not a lot of people that you're gonna meet that's gonna treat you well or generally care for you.
Yeah.
Some people, they will be in your life because of what you can do for them.
Yeah.
Or what you can provide for them. You get what I'm saying? But once that thing is gone, they're out of your life. So at the end of the day, you should be with somebody that genuinely wants to be with you. And if you think that you have a lot of options and you're gonna find somebody that's gonna actually care for you, you're wrong. You can find a lot of people that want to be with you.
They'll pretend.
They'll-
That's a good one.
They might not be pretending they want to be with you, but somebody could be with you, like you. You guys could do everything, be in a relationship and all that, but they might not care for you.
Yeah.
So to find somebody that should care for you is pretty hard to find. So when you do find somebody that should care for you, you should try your best to try to work with that person. And that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. Thank you.
That.
Shola, do you have last minute
Last
message
minute
for
word.
the audience?
Sure. I guess my last message would be, honestly speaking, just to back up what Columbia said. I said it right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, definitely go for those that genuinely love you, ride with you, and also I would say strive to be the person that you want in your life. I think that if we can do our best to become the best versions of ourselves, it would be more likely for us to also meet the best versions of other people.
Right.
I think a lot of us want to receive, but we don't want to give. And the truth of the matter is that it does start with you. So if, for example, even with the whole polygamy thing, having that conversation with somebody for during the first interactions that we have, that's just general respect.
Yeah.
If you know you are somebody that genuinely wants to practice polygamy, have that conversation with the
Yeah,
women.
yeah.
Give them the opportunity to choose. If
That's
that
the
makes
word.
sense. And as a woman, if you know that monogamy is not for you, or polygamy is not for you, and as a man, if you know polygamy is not for you, my advice for those that are practicing monogamy is let's do it right. Because I think that a lot of women are also changing their minds and considering polygamy because a lot of monogamous men are not doing it right.
Right. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Mr. Tintin, shall we end it for us? And let's
All
go.
right. So this is my advice to especially men, especially young men. You need to start building structure. You need to learn you need to come into your masculinity and learn what it means to be a man. And we need to take our duties very, very seriously. Our duties to our wives, our duties to our work, our duties to everything. Because I equate duty to love. Because if I don't love you, I won't do my due diligence to do my duty to you. Now, with our young women and women in the whole, I feel like they need to start really looking into themselves and start being delusional about the type of these Instagram guys
That they want.
Six-pack, and start looking for
Be a gang.
man, right? A man to be a true man, because in this life we all have a role to play. And when we don't play that role, we have the 60% divorce. We have the children out of wedlock. We have all the stuff that is going on.
Right.
So let's all find our duty and perform it like our lives depend on it.
Yeah.
And it do.
Yeah.
And that's my
Thank you, guys. And there you go. I'll see you all next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.
This is Diaspora Moments by Dion London.